In this last section of the workshop, I'm going to be discussing academics, funding and scholarships, and final logistics. So first, I mentioned that we prioritize academic fit when we're making program determinations. So how exactly do you determine that? Well, the first thing that you should do is meet with your academic advisor and request an updated degree plan. Now, if you go to your academic advisor and you ask the question, what courses can I take when I study abroad? They're just going to refer you right back to me. And if you come to me and you ask, what courses can I take abroad that will apply to my degree plan? I'm going to refer you back to your academic advisor. So, to avoid that runaround and to make sure you're asking the questions that will get you the information that you need, I've listed a few here to consider. The first one to ask your academic advisor is, what requirements do I have left? Do I have major requirements left? Do I have electives left? Do I have minor requirements I need to complete? Rather than asking what specific courses you should take, right now what you need to focus on is what types of classes should I be looking for? Do I have room for some electives, or have I already used all those up? Should I focus instead on finding programs that offer courses within my major? So again, very general. What types of courses should I be looking for? Also ask, are there any courses that I need to take on campus? Some degree plans have very strict prerequisite requirements, and so there may be a course or courses that you need to make sure you complete before you study abroad. That way, when you return, you've taken that important prerequisite already, and you can continue with your degree sequence. Also, there are certain courses in certain degree plans that can only be taken on campus. You can't transfer them in. They're very difficult to find at other institutions, or they're difficult to get approved as equivalent. So that's why this question is so important. We don't want you to come back from your study abroad semester and realize that now you're behind. So have these discussions before you study abroad, before you pick your top 3 institutions. Also talk about transfer credit. And just inform your academic advisor that you'll be transferring in a full-time semester of credit during your exchange program. That way, if they have any concerns about that, any academic policies that you should be aware of when you're transferring credit, they can bring those to your attention. So once you have that preliminary information, you know what types of courses you should be looking for, you can then go to the Comments Abroad portal and you can find the course listings for different exchange programs and compare. Also consider your preferred language of instruction. You want to make sure that if you need to take classes in English, that the host university offers plenty of courses in the type that you need, whether major, elective, or minor, and in the language of instruction that you need. Most students take courses in English, but many of our exchange programs also offer courses in the host language as well as several in English. So it'll be up to you to determine what language you're comfortable taking courses in and making sure that the top 3 choices you've chosen in your application offer a good amount of courses in the language that you need. So to help you find those courses so you can start doing that comparing and that reviewing, we've included links to the course catalog or previous course listings on each of the exchange program brochures. So if you go to the Comments Abroad portal and you find the program that you want to learn more about, you can click on the Academics and Courses tab and you should see a link or multiple links there. If any of those links are broken, or if you're really just having a hard time navigating the host institution website, please contact me. I'm on their websites very frequently, updating our brochures and looking up information for students, so I can definitely help you navigate the website and find information on courses. Also consider that there may be course restrictions for exchange students. Not every course at every host institution is open to exchange students. Some of our programs have certain majors or certain courses that are only available to students that are getting their degree from that host institution. So just keep that in mind when you're looking through the course listings. Also, consider taking a language course when you study abroad. If you're going to a country whose primary language is not English, this is a great opportunity for you to learn a little bit of that language, which will allow you to have an easier time navigating the city and using the public transportation system and meeting local students and getting involved on campus. So many of our host institutions offer language courses, either for credit or non-credit, and at all types of proficiency levels, from survival or basic all the way up to advanced. So consider that and talk to your academic advisor about how a language course would apply to your degree plan requirements. So before you study abroad, we will walk you through the course pre-approval process. We're currently working on a new process, which is why I'm not going to share a lot about that in this session, but I will walk you through that process when the time comes. Just rest assured that we will work with you to get your proposed courses reviewed by the appropriate people on campus so that you have an idea of how those courses will transfer back after you complete your exchange program. Now, when you study abroad on exchange, you're registered in a placeholder course at UT Dallas that's called EXCM. I've included a screenshot here at the bottom. Normally, when you register for a semester's worth of courses at UT Dallas, you see those individual courses listed in Galaxy. Well, when you study abroad, you just see this one placeholder course, and you'll be registered in the number of credits that you plan on transferring back. For undergraduate students, the minimum is the equivalent of 12 UTD credit hours. And for graduate students, the minimum is the equivalent of 9 UTD credit hours. Now, you can take more if you want. We have some students who take 15 up to 18 credits abroad, but the minimum is 12 for undergraduates and 9 for graduates. Now, because you're registered in that EXCM placeholder, that actually generates a tuition bill for those credits. So you pay tuition to UT Dallas just like you would during any other semester. Other fees such as housing, books, possibly like an international student service fee, will be paid directly to your host institution. The EXCM placeholder serves to verify that you are still an active and enrolled UT Dallas student during your semester abroad. You're not taking a break from UT Dallas, you're participating in one of our approved exchange programs, and you're transferring that credit back to UT Dallas when the program is complete. So that's why you're still registered at UT Dallas during that semester. That registration also verifies your enrollment for financial aid reasons. So if you currently have financial aid or scholarships that you apply to your UT Dallas tuition, typically you can do the same thing with the tuition that's charged for the EXCM placeholder. After your exchange semester ends, you'll be ordering an official transcript from your host institution, and that will be sent to UT Dallas. The credit that you earn at your host institution is going to act the same as any transfer credit. If you've already earned transfer credit from a community college or dual credit, it will actually act in a very similar way and follow the same policies, which means you'll earn transfer credit for any course that you earn a grade of C or better for undergraduate students or B or better for graduate students. So as I mentioned, most financial aid and scholarships are applicable to that EXCM placeholder course and the associated UT Dallas tuition. If you're a veteran or using veterans education benefits, make sure you contact financial aid because the rules around that funding have recently changed. We also have a funding website dedicated to additional scholarships for study abroad, so I recommend going there to see what funding opportunities may be available. These are going to be external scholarships that are offered by many different organizations. So, for example, the Gilman Scholarship is a competitive scholarship offered by the U.S. Department of State, and it's specifically for students who are receiving a federal Pell Grant. There are also scholarship opportunities through the Fund for Education Abroad and Diversity Abroad. These are organizations that are focused on expanding study abroad to as many students as possible. And because these are all external scholarships offered by different organizations, they will have different application processes, different eligibility criteria, and different award ranges as well. So make sure you research those before applying. And if you have questions about your specific financial aid package or your specific scholarship, make sure you contact your financial aid advisor in the financial aid office. I also want to make you aware of the International Education Fund Scholarship, or the IEF Scholarship. This is a UT Dallas scholarship that's offered to UTD students who are studying abroad and have a UTD GPA of at least 2.75. So if you meet the eligibility criteria for an exchange program, you typically meet the eligibility criteria for the scholarship as well. For a full semester abroad, the award range is $1,600 to $3,200, and you'll apply separately through the Comets Abroad portal. So you'll have two applications open, one for your exchange program and one for the IEF scholarship. Now, the application includes a scholarship form where you report information about your program, including an estimated budget, and you'll also write a personal narrative or an essay. The scholarship application also requires 2 online faculty and staff recommendations. Now, I do want to mention that this scholarship is competitive. It's not guaranteed for all students who study abroad or for all students who apply for the scholarship, but it is a great opportunity, so I definitely recommend applying. The application deadlines for the scholarship are later than the exchange deadline, so you don't need to apply right now. But for the fall semester, the scholarship deadline is June 15th. And for the spring semester, the scholarship deadline is October 15th. You're welcome to start an application at any time. I think we do have the scholarship application open right now, but you probably won't be able to complete it until you know which program you're being nominated to. That's because, for example, you'll need to know your location when you're building your budget and when you're writing your essay. But you can at least start it and let it sit for a while until you have that information if you want. So lastly, I just want to talk about some expectations that we have for our exchange nominees. The first one is once you're nominated to the host institution, you must commit to attending. If you cancel after we've nominated you, then the consequence is that you'll be ineligible to apply for an exchange program again. Let me explain why we have that rule in place. If we've nominated you to the host institution, the host institution is already preparing for you to arrive. They're possibly arranging your housing, they're working with the academic department that you would be taking classes in. They may even be pre-registering you in the courses that you want. So they're putting a lot of work into making sure you have an excellent experience while you're there. And if we cancel after your nomination, it reflects poorly on UT Dallas. There's also the likely chance, that you've taken a spot that could have been offered to another student, especially for some of our very high demand institutions. So you've taken that opportunity away from another student, and it's likely too late to switch things around and offer them your spot that you've canceled. Now, we understand that there is a lot of uncertainty around COVID-19 at this time, so If the program is canceled and that's out of your control, if it's canceled because of COVID-19, then this rule does not apply. We will work with you to defer your exchange semester to a future one if your program is canceled due to COVID-19. So I do want to clarify that. As I mentioned earlier, exchange students do serve as ambassadors or representatives for their home institution. So we ask that you be very conscious of the impression you're leaving behind of UT Dallas, of Texas, and of the United States. And if you have any issues or complaints about your experience, then please share those with us. Contact Education Abroad and also inform our equivalent office at the host institution. Most of our exchange partners have a study abroad office that works with students participating in their exchange program, and many of them will be able to address those complaints and those issues effectively. So handle those concerns with respect, and there's really no reason why a complaint should be escalated all the way up to the president of UT Dallas or all the way up to the president of the host institution. Most complaints and issues can be handled at the level of the study abroad office. Also, if your host institution is holding a study abroad fair while you're there, we do expect you to participate and represent UT Dallas. So if you have a UT Dallas t-shirt, make sure to pack that in your luggage in case the opportunity arises while you're there. It really helps to have a student represent UT Dallas at those fairs, to actually have someone to talk about their experience and to represent our institution. You don't need to be an expert about UT Dallas or an expert about what the experience of exchange students would be like at UT Dallas. It really just helps for possible exchange students to see what the student experience is like and what student organizations are like and how they can get involved on campus and what courses and professors are like, how to get around town, what types of things there are to do in the area, and so on. So just having an actual person to talk to rather than just looking at a flyer really helps. And the more students that you can get interested in attending UT Dallas, the more students we could possibly send to that exchange institution in the future. So you're paying it forward by representing UT Dallas. You'll also be required to submit a confirmation of your class schedule once you're registered at your host institution. So I know students get very busy with their courses and immersing themselves in their host culture when they arrive, but please continue to monitor your UT Dallas email while you're abroad because I will be sending reminders of important things that you should be doing, like submitting a confirmation of your class schedule and possibly submitting an updated course pre-approval form if you end up taking classes that you didn't have pre-approved earlier. Keep in mind also that we only nominate students for one semester at a time. So if you have plans right now to spend a full year abroad, you'll need to apply in the Comments Abroad portal for that second semester. And as I mentioned, we do give priority to students that haven't studied abroad on exchange in the past. So your request to stay may not be granted, especially if you're studying at a high demand institution. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Again, my name is Alyssa Qualheim, and I'm an Education Abroad advisor. I'm currently hosting virtual advising sessions, so if you have questions or want to meet to talk about something in more detail, please email me at educationabroad@utdallas.edu so we can schedule an appointment. You can also email me if you have a quick question and don't need to meet, but just have something you need me to address quickly via email. I can advise over email as well. And with that, I wish you good luck, and I look forward to reviewing your application.